Chegando de mansinho,
Estamos ao vivo, eu acho.
sim. Entrando ao vivo, mais um HCO chegando, já no final da temporada. Ai, gente, final da sexta temporada. Que coisa. Quem diria que a gente ia continuar e continuar e sem menor vontade de parar. Ainda mais com uma entrevista essa que a gente vai reproduzir. Aí que você fala, não vou parar mesmo, né, Bia? Conta aí, meu amor. Boa noite.
Boa noite. A gente está finalizando o ano, está acabando. Só a semana que vem tem eh, episódios especiais, serão duas partes de uma entrevista que a gente fez presencial, a primeira da história de 3 anos e alguns meses do Histórias com o Osho, vai ser a primeira entrevista presencial que a gente vai fazer. Depois, ao final, a gente fala mais um pouco sobre isso, né? E a gente está muito feliz também com esta de hoje, porque, ah, em especial para mim, eu acho que para a Dívia também, até no momento que a gente estava meio que frequentando lá o Ajar, lá em São Paulo, que o Vireste passou aqui como um cometa a primeira vez, né?
As
E,
experiências, né, que a gente teve para esse
e,
trabalho de Brecht.
e tudo que, para mim, assim, tem muito significado aí, uma University, porque enfim, eu já falei duas vezes, uma na entrevista com a Chandrika, outra com a Premdip, histórias diferentes minhas relacionadas com o Osho e o Viresh. E, e desde alguns episódios eu fiquei super ligado, super ligado, né? Mesmo sem estar lá, mesmo sem ter participado mais de atividades com eles aqui, ou eles não vieram mais aqui, aconteceu muita coisa, mas eles vieram muitas vezes ao Brasil. E aquele lugar eu gosto muito das pessoas. E aprendi que é uma entrevista, né?
Ai, ela é um
Uau.
ser especial, ela é demais. Ai, gente, só assistindo para ver.
É,
Que história, que caminho.
a gente fica
Lindo.
trabalhando, né? Revisando, legenda, coisa, e assiste mais de uma vez e tal. E essa realmente tem um sabor especial. Eu não preciso falar mais porque vocês vão acompanhar. Eu vou dar os recados aqui enquanto as pessoas vão entrando, certo, Didi?
Certo, Biru?
É,
Tá tudo compartilhado.
rápidos. Então, nossos agradecimentos à equipe HCO de apoio, Marita, Miguel Fine, Catarina Lira. Nossos agradecimentos aos grupos Osho no Facebook, que é Osho Sem Fronteiras, Gabriel Sananda, equipe, Nelson da Nova Realidade, Francisco Siqueira e equipe. Nossos agradecimentos à querida Sanguinha, que está sempre conosco,
Sim.
aos nossos, também aos nossos apoiadores e Pix, é a chave nos comentários fixos que a Dívia posta ali, a gente leva esse programa com apoio. Então a gente agradece muito a todos que contribuem, qualquer contribuição é muito bem-vinda.
É
Um
mesmo.
recado importante e sério, nós não somos um canal oficial do Roxo, isso nos foi pedido que deixasse bem claro sempre. Então, nós somos apenas um grupo de amigos que gosta de contar histórias. Histórias com quem, diga?
Poxa, o mestre, esse caminho rico, lindo de transformação. Falando em transformação, uau, a gente vai assistir agora uma beleza de caminho, como eu coloquei aqui no título, do mais mundano ao mais sagrado, sabe?
Só um pouquinho antes de transmitir. faltou um recado. Gente, às vezes o vídeo trava, porque a gente, enfim, a transmissão do Facebook, como a gente está produzindo uma gravação, que a única forma de fazer, esclarecendo para quem não sabe, as entrevistas em inglês são gravadas e a gente coloca a legenda. Nós mesmos colocamos as legendas, a equipe HCO. Então, pode acontecer duas coisas. Às vezes a legenda fica um pouco ilegível, no original ela está perfeita, mas na transmissão pode acontecer alguma, a gente chama craquelada, né? Que ela fica meio trêmula, fica um pouquinho difícil de ler. Tá? Isso pode acontecer. A gente faz de tudo para evitar, tem, né, internet em cada ponto da Div, o meu, a gente faz, tem a melhor conexão possível, com cabo, com, né, fibra ótica, tudo, mas acontece, né? Então, pode acontecer instabilidade e dar travamento. E no dia seguinte, ou 2 dias depois, dependendo do que acontece na transmissão original, nosso querido Miguel edita o vídeo e tira as partes e coloca a entrevista original e
Na
faz
íntegra,
faz o
bonitinho.
recorte na
É.
íntegra. Então, no YouTube não tem travamento, não tem problema de legenda, tá tudo lá.
Lindo lá, gente. Playlist todo.
YouTube Divia 10 playlists, tá lá. É só entrar lá, tem tudo lá, melhor que Netflix. Certo? Outra
Nossa,
coisa que
dá uma
pode
perfeita
acontecer.
maratona. Que entrevista que é essa?
Hã?
Que live que é essa que a gente está fazendo hoje?
Hoje, o número,
É?
como diria minha amiga, centésima, 36ª ou 136ª.
Seisima.
Centésima. É.
Sextésima.
Número 136. Então, gente, mais um recado e último, tá? Pode acontecer de haver sobreposição de legendas, tá?
Ah, bom.
Ah, porque o vídeo que a gente vai reproduzir agora da entrevista, ele vem com a legenda já colocada em português. Só que o Facebook, às vezes, coloca a legenda em cima, pela voz, né? Programa do Facebook. Então, você tem que desativar no seu aparelho,
Sim.
tá? Se tiver isso acontecendo, a gente não pode fazer nada, só deixar, avisar, né, para as pessoas se acontecer isso, é no próprio aparelho da pessoa que acontece, não é algo que a gente possa resolver.
Outra
Dados
coisa
os
que eu gostaria,
recados. Ah,
outra coisa que eu queria falar, gente, é que se você sentir que tem alguém que você queira passar essa live e você já tenha falado, né, sobre histórias com o Osho, pode transmitir, pode compartilhar e a gente às vezes sente que isso pode ir um pouquinho mais do que já está. Está ótimo do jeito que está, a gente não faz campanha, a gente não faz nada monetizado, né? E a gente cuida para que a gente fique nesse círculo amoroso, né? Nesse ambiente de internet, de rede social. Mas se você sente, se você quiser convidar pessoas ou sente que pode contribuir para seus amigos, seus contatos, então pode compartilhar e a gente está aqui, tá bom? A gente agradece.
e sobre isso, quando você compartilha, o que já acontece aqui é como ondas que vão se propagando na água. Às vezes tem 10, 15 pessoas assistindo e daqui a pouco a gente olha tem 300, né, que
É,
viram. E as pessoas entram depois, enfim, né? Então, esse grupinho que está aqui ao vivo é legal
é,
que interage com a gente também, né?
é
Então, boa
verdade.
noite a todos que estão aqui.
Todo mundo que está
Prashanto,
chegando, um
Sarasa,
abraçando.
Sávia,
Ai, querido,
Francisco, do nosso Nelsânias,
querido.
Dian,
Let's
Dara,
go?
Lícia, Kilma, Sarasa. Vamos lá?
Ai, tá lindo, 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 lindo. Vamos lá, vamos mostrar. Até
Ah,
já.
último recado, só um pouquinho, antes que eu esqueça.
Não
Gente,
podemos
essa
esquecer.
entrevista, ela teve a colaboração de duas pessoas que eu queria agradecer, que é a Sarasa e a Carunha, né? Que nos ajudaram a fazer os contatos, nossas embaixatrizes do HCO. Muito obrigado.
Agora vai.
Agora vai.
Vamos lá. Beijo, gente. Até a volta.
So welcome, Premdip.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
We are very happy that you accepted.
And I love that you do this work and make Osho and Viresh and the sannyas movement more known. So that's fantastic.
Yes, we just love that. And we can't stop, we never imagined to get so many, yeah?
Mm.
So, how did Osho come into your life and what happened next? And also, did Viresh play a role on that?
Yeah, of course. I was in Switzerland. I was looking for something that had a meaning in life because I could not find it. I didn't find it in myself. I didn't find it in the society. I didn't find it in the schools. I didn't find it in the people around me. And definitely, I didn't think I had anything to do with it. I thought the world is not giving it to me in a proper way. So I looked, and then someone came from Sweden into Switzerland and explained that dynamic meditation, and he was jumping up and down, and then Osho, called Bhagwan at the time, said stop, and that he got a cramp in his leg, and then he started to dance, and that changed his life to such a point that he decided to go to India and interview Bhagwan. And that now he was totally impressed by Bhagwan, but he was afraid to become a sannyasin. So he only wore red undergarments, but on top, normal clothing. And he owned a bookstore in Stockholm. This story really impressed me. And I also had the chance to have Janov on the phone, and I just read his book, so I was really thrilled to have him on the phone. And then I was there because a friend of mine was sick, and he was actually very sick, wanted to be healed by the Swiss hospital, private. It didn't work out. He died of cancer. And so I decided, okay, I go to London. That's where Osho, Bhagwan, has centers, and the biggest center is in London. So I arrived there, and along the way, the daughter of the man who had done this meditation happened to live in Paris. I passed by Paris, and we connected, and we both arrived in London. We both were 21 years old, looking for something. We went to the Sannyas Center, and I said, I want to do dynamic meditation. And they said, you cannot do dynamic meditation because you are not a sannyasin. So I said, yeah, but I want to do dynamic meditation. And they said, no, you cannot because you're not a sannyasin. So I said, okay, I understand that, but actually I really want to do dynamic meditation. And I insisted enough that they said, okay, if you commit for 1 month, you're allowed to do it. So this was in 1980. And then I did the dynamic for 1 month. My girlfriend was also there, this daughter of this Swedish friend, did it with me. And after 1 month, Ganda said, there's going to be a group with a man called Viresh. He comes from Holland to London to do a group, and you should do it. You could do it. And then I started to talk to people around, and half of the people said, you know, Premdip, Viresh is someone who is so intense, so strong that new people should not do groups with him. because maybe you never want to do a group again in your life because it's too strong. Other people were saying, Viresh is so soft, so beautiful, so loving, so caring. He's amazing. It's amazing to do a group with him. And then it was so opposite to each other. So I thought, I'm going to do it. So I jumped. It was a full moon. It was Easter time. And I went to do this group. And Viresh arrived in the group room. And then I was like, oh, he is an interesting person. He is not too tall. And he has a mustache. My grandmother didn't like mustache. She said, people who have a mustache, there is something behind. And then I thought, and he's not a white person. So, then I realized, wow, I have a lot of judgments. And then on top of it, he had a drink in his hands. And I didn't know if it was an apple juice or whiskey. So how can someone be leading a meditation and maybe take whiskey? And then Viresh, we had to wait for a few hours, before he arrived. And the staff had already talked about him, saying how great he was. So when he arrived in the group room, it was maybe 12 o'clock at night. And then he said, all of you who are new, sit in the front. So I came and sat in the front. And then he said, if you don't like that I am black, and if you don't like that I have a mustache, and if you don't like that I'm drinking, you know what? It's your problem. And I was like, oh my God, he reads minds. And then I was looking at him. I was just so amazed. And then he said, and now I want you to do what I'm going to tell you to do. And we are going to do, love is always the answer. And I looked at those words and I thought, this sounds a little bit like a cliche. Love is the answer, spirituality, everybody says that. And then we started to do sessions after session, primal, yoga at 3 a.m. Then we had to go and clean the kitchen, which was totally clean, but still we had to remove everything from the shelves, clean them again and put them back. And we didn't sleep. And I was like, but I need to sleep. But there was no sleep. So by the time it was dynamic in the morning, I was just like, where am I? And then I realized, where am I? I started to feel so happy, so one with the universe, so connected. And then my hair were a mess because we were screaming and doing yoga, and everything disappeared, what we had done. It was some effort, but it just felt like, it brought me to a point where I felt like I was alive for the first time in I don't know how many years. And I was 21 years old. So I should have been feeling alive, but I didn't. And after this session of so many hours, I felt like I now know what it means to be alive and to be with the universe. And then I understood some of the words I had read from Osho. They suddenly became alive for me. And then I looked again on the board, love is the answer. Love is always the answer. And so those words also, they became alive. I started to feel good and to feel one. And I was like so high from it. And Viresh came and he was talking, and I thought, he's the most amazing person I've ever met. He is authentic, he is strong, and he's soft, and he's giving, and he cares for every single person within the group. And the only thing I could feel for Viresh was so much love. And that was my introduction. And then we had to do another session. We had to go to the woods, to the farm where we were doing the group. And I went to walk, and I walked in cow shit. My high and my enlightenment was finished. I suddenly was busy with having walked in the wrong thing and having clean my shoes, and it was terrible. And then I came back, and then we had question and answer with Viresh. So I explained to him, and he said, "Yes, that's how it goes," you know. And he was so normal and so fun. And then he invited every groupie to come to the group room and to listen just at what was going on. And then I realized he was just himself in the group room with the staff, answering questions. And so I could see what to be authentic meant. And then I realized that all these qualities was what I was looking all along, and I had not found it by myself. You know, my past was quite heavy. I had been extremely hurt by things that did happen, and I was crushed to the point of being basically suicidal. And then just by doing this one group, I felt like my life is different. My life is changed. I have a purpose. I know what is where I have to go. What I have to do is to listen to this man and do what he says, and it works. So I decided I'm going to come to his commune because I thought this is really the place to be. I came from France. I was in England, between in Switzerland, and then I thought I have to go to Holland. So I told my family I'm going to Holland, and they thought I am lost to the sect. And I thought, well, you misunderstand, I'm going. But still, their opinion did matter. So it took me a whole year to actually arrive. And during that year, I did groups with many other group leaders, Tirsa, Somendra, Rajan, because London was the place to be. That was where sannyas was happening. So I got all the best therapists from the sannyas movement to come to the groups. But nobody had the power and the authenticity of Viresh. Some were very good in the group room, and outside the group room, they were a different person. Some were having trips, you know, because I was young and I looked good. So some were trying to be with me just because I look good, and they were putting down other women because they were old and, you know, and I thought, no, it's not true. I am inside so dark, you know. Yes, I might look good, but it's not who I am. I have this darkness to work with. And, you know, I saw so many trips, and I stayed very loyal to Viresh because I have never met someone more beautiful than him, more authentic than him, more giving than him. So I arrived in the Human University. And I had no idea what I was going into because I was more into the opinion also that the world had to change, not me. So there I was in for a surprise, because then I was told by Viresh that I have to change. I'm responsible for who I am, and that I have to work. So I did the program. So that's, yes. And then I took sannyas because Viresh was a sannyasin. So of course I wanted to be from the same club as him. And the club was Bhagwan and Osho. So if that's a club he belongs to, I want to belong to that club.
Osho was the president of the club, yeah?
Yes, yes. And then Osho left Pune, so I anyway didn't have time to go to Pune because I wanted to be with Viresh. And so Osho left, went to America. And so when I met Osho, then it was in America. And then I went to meet him for the first time.
How was it?
Well, when I saw him, I was amazed by his silence, his calm, his serenity, it was like his presence was like almost an empty space, and at the same time totally filled with beingness. And but I must say that I really started to understand Bhagwan, Osho, because of the love that Viresh had for Osho. Because just when I would see Osho, I would see that, but I could not, it didn't do something to me. You know, I didn't become different. I didn't fall in love with who he is. But when Viresh would talk about him, about Osho, the way he described this love that he had for Osho was so powerful that I could feel that. And this is what connected me with Osho. So I thought, I'm a bad sannyasin because I love Osho because of Viresh. So I thought at some point, maybe I should not be a sannyasin because I am really liking Viresh. And then because of that, I appreciate Osho. I think Osho is the most amazing person on this planet, making so many books, so many creating situations that are wonderful. But I thought, but it's not coming from me, it goes via Viresh. So I went with Viresh to Pune, and I was dressed with a sari. And so I was so busy with what if Osho would see that I am wearing a sari, because it was a small space, you know. So I thought he's going to see me, and is he going to say, and I'm going to get enlightened just by looking at him? And then I was like, ow, it hurts to be sitting and not moving, because if you're in the front, you cannot move. But I want to move. And then it was like, oh, what did he say? I wasn't listening. You know, I was so busy with me that I missed him. But then I looked at Viresh, and Viresh was just crying, and he was just in how towards Osho. And then Osho was saying, your tears are a connection, a bridge. You are connecting. The people who love you, they love me, and we are one, and it's the same. And I was like, oh, I am a good sannyasin. I can stay as a sannyasin. And Osho could see that and say that, answering my question, because I didn't even know I could put up a question, but I got the answer. And then it was just like, every time I heard Viresh talking about Osho, I fell in love more with Osho, because he was just, sometimes I was jealous. How can he love him so much, so much? And what about me? But, you know, this love that he had for Osho was so tremendous that it could only just fall on me. And it was so funny to see it in the community, because drug addicts would come, tough drug addicts into drugs. And then after being with us for a couple of months, they would say, I want to take sannyas. I also want to be a man and follow Osho. And I was like, Viresh had such a way of loving and passing on his love. So as he loved Osho so much, then we all fell in love with Osho too. And that was...
You know, I can relate to that. But just for me, as I told you before, was the other way around. I come to Viresh through Osho. When Osho was not in the body anymore. And he connected to me to Osho again, just listening to Viresh speaking about Osho. It's exactly what you described. And I feel it through Human University music a lot.
Yes.
Just that, you know, I can really relate to that. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we are grateful that you keep there with Viresh's work and also Osho, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah, so,
I'm proud to have a sannyas name, you know. I'm proud to have Osho creating this amazing movement and family, and connected all of us. And without Osho, you know, I was following Osho to London, and that's where I met Viresh. I mean, I feel blessed that I have had the chance to be at the right place at the right time. Yes. And meet Viresh through Osho, and then meet Osho through Viresh, and meet myself through Viresh and through Osho.
I guess we had a second question, but you answered already.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can go to the third. Divya?
Okay. How did I become a human university therapist?
Yes. How did you?
Well, it was very clear. Viresh is very clear. Anybody who comes here and who lives here and who wants to be here has to do therapy. And once you do therapy, you become an assistant in the groups, and then you become a therapist. So Viresh was a therapist. Everybody wanted to be a therapist. And if you didn't want, you still had to do it. I didn't want because I was a little bit, it's challenging to be a therapist. You go in a group room and you tell people who you are and that you want them to change, and they don't want to change. Or they think they want to change, but they don't know how to change, or they think they want to change, but it's too difficult to change. And you are changing yourself as well. So it's an ongoing change, which is quite uncomfortable. But that was what Viresh always asked everybody who became a staff member to also become a therapist in the field that he wanted to choose. And so for me, what worked for me was the encounter workshops. So I became an encounter leader, and then I got the title of Human University Therapist. And I was very proud.
That's beautiful, beautiful. I want to go back a little of our last subject that is related to Viresh and Osho relation and love relation, love connection.
Yes.
I remember once Osho speaking about Viresh in Buddha Hall.
Yeah.
And I didn't like Viresh first, I see him. It was in Holland. I came from Pune to Holland, to Amsterdam, and I went to a place there, I think it was Misfit State or something like that it was called. Yeah. And it was Viresh all over the walls, the photos, the sayings of Viresh all over the place. And then they put Viresh on a video coming out of a Mercedes-Benz and doing Namaste like Osho. I thought, who this guy think he is? The master is Osho, it's not him. And then I was kind of pissed, And then I went to Pune and I heard Osho speaking about Viresh. And all that was gone, all that thoughts, Do you remember that special discourse on Osho says that Viresh is so humble that he sits there in the back because he's shy also. He doesn't want Osho to speak about him. And Osho says, he does a great work for me.
Yes.
But he hides here because he doesn't want me to talk about him.
Oh, yes, I remember very well. It was, the night before we were in the hotel room, and Viresh and me, and then his ex-wife came, Sudha. And then she said to Viresh, why don't you live here? You don't know what meditation is about. And if you say you love Osho so much, then why are you not here so much? And that was her questions. And my question was like, Osho has become so big and he has so many sannyasins that he's not anymore in touch with the one-to-one because he has too many, not too many, but he has so many sannyasins. So the little gathering are not happening anymore. It's big gathering with hundreds of people. And we are hundreds of us. And then we went to the lecture the next day. And then Osho is saying, I think the Buddha Hall was being constructed, so it was in a smaller space happening on that day. And then Osho said, where is my Viresh? He said, I know he must be in the back because for him, he doesn't need to live here. He sees me once and it's enough for him. And his heart is fulfilled and he cries. He's shy, that's why he will be in the back. He doesn't need to be in the front. And then he will be full of tears. And then I turn around and of course Viresh is crying. And then I was like, oh my God, was Osho in the room yesterday? Did someone tell him what we were talking about? That I was thinking he's disconnected. He's so connected that he even knows what Viresh is thinking and feeling at the exact same moment without having seen Viresh. And it was just like, I was like, oh my gosh, wow. And it was, Viresh's humbleness. Yes, I can only tell you, Viresh's humbleness has always been there. One time we were in, sorry if I jumped to Oregon, but where Viresh had received some papers from the office that when he will go to the darshan with the hundreds of people, he would have to give this piece of paper at the entrance. And then Viresh came back and he said, look, I got 4 pieces of paper and there is a stripe on it. I thought, okay, you have to show it tomorrow when we go there. Now, do you know what was this stripe? It meant that you would have sit in the first place in front of Osho. But for Viresh, he was never after like, do I get the first front row? Am I more important than someone else? He was so humble that he thought it was a piece of paper with a stripe, because in America, you write one with just a stripe. And he didn't think he would be on the first place. And he had 4 of those tickets, and Viresh was just so humble. It's just like he naturally would always think, like he just got a piece of paper with a stripe. No, do I get now the first place because I'm important and I have a big center and I'm doing Osho's work? No. It was so beautiful. His humbleness was always amazing. I mean, he was so humble that when the ranch was about to close down, we received a telex saying, it was not about to close down, but it was happening in America. But he received a letter on a telex saying, please close down Grada Rajneesh, because my organization will destroy your creativity. Viresh was in tears when he received this telex, but he did close down Grada Rajneesh, which was our commune in Holland. And the next day he opened the Commune University. And then the day after he opened Human University. And so we did the work for a few years, and we started to get the sannyasins not coming because we were not anymore Grada Rajneesh. And some of the people were talking around that Viresh had been thrown out because he didn't know how to do the work of Osho. But it wasn't true. And so we got a lot of new people and no sannyasins, very little. And then after a few years of Osho leaving the Oregon and then going to all over the world and being thrown out from all the country, he finally went back to India. And then we went to India to see Osho, if we could, or at least be in his commune. And then the secretary of Osho came and said to Viresh, I want to have a meeting with you. I want to let you know that Osho knows that you have always done his work and that now it's time to come back. So please close down your center as such and open Osho Human University, because he wants you to be connected again. Now it's good for you to do that. And also he got a few letters from Misfit Cities, and he wants you to call them Osho Misfit City, but he wants you to deal with the questions. And he wants the band to be called Osho's band. And he wanted all the name to be back full on the sannyas. So Viresh said yes, of course, to everything. So we came back, and then he talked with the whole staff and he said, Osho has asked me to do that. And then what do you think? So every staff member had an opinion, and they said, now we have built up this whole Human University without Osho. We took his photo away and now we have to put it back, and then the people are not going to come anymore. And Viresh said, he first listened to everybody, said, I understand how you are all thinking, but some were very happy, some not. And then he said, but I'm going to do it because if my master says so, that's what I do. And whatever will be the challenge, we will do it. So Viresh had always this humbleness of being a disciple. He was never like, I'm a master and everybody has to listen to me as the master, the guru. He was just very humble, always. And once when Viresh was in Oregon, Osho invited him, gave him a hat. A few other people got a hat too. And then he said to Viresh, I want you to teach the best therapist in the world. So Viresh said, okay, I will. And then some people thought, oh yeah, the best. You want to be the best. You are, you know, more people put trips on Viresh than Viresh had trips, you know. He just was like, if my master wants me to train the best therapist, I mean, the best of themselves, not better than others, just the best of themselves. So Viresh has always had this humbleness, you know, this authenticity, this humbleness, this love, this compassion, and this extreme love for Osho. So this has been like showering all the people that he has met. And so I have had the blessing and the chance and the luck to be with him for so many years.
Yes, yes. Just one thing was not clear for me. The first message to close down the center came from Osho or came from somewhere, someone else?
No, from Osho.
From Osho himself?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Osho
okay.
taking care.
Yes. Nobody could do something like this. Nobody could say something like this. I mean, anyway, Osho only took orders. Viresh only took orders from Osho.
Great.
Tell us about Human University. How can people get to know more about it? And what is going on there? Programs, courses, seminars?
Well, we have, like the Viresh has set up this institute and this commune for people to come, and this is their home while they are here. He made a home for himself, for the staff, and for every single person who wants to be here for however amount of time they want to be. It can be 1 hour for a session, a weekend workshop, or it can be for ever if you want to be a staff member or graduates. So we have all different programs in the commune. So you are a student first. After you have done a group, maybe you didn't do a group or meditation, but you just want to be here already for 3 months. And we accommodate many different programs. So one of them is the tourist program, where you come only for 14 days and you study yourself. It's like it's a deep washing machine process where you look at many different issues, your parents, your relating with others, your way of meditating, your way of working with others, the way of taking orders from others, and how you are basically your happiness, your body, your martial arts capacity. You do a lot of many different things for 2 weeks. This is tourist program. The next program we have is to come for 9 months, but you can split it in 1 month. You're a student and then you study yourself. So on top of doing all this structure that I described in the tourist, you also work to make food, cleaning the house, painting, doing the gardens, driving, answering the telephone, doing night shift, making security around, making sure that this home is safe and beautiful. And then the work is also used to see who are you, because who you are in your meditation, you are the same in your work. You cannot be an enlightened meditator and then a horrible person in the work. So you can work in the group room and you can work outside the group room to become a better person, a happier person, a more loving person. So this is called student program. And then once you have graduated from that program and you don't want to go back to the life that you have been leading because you want to take a break from it or you want to study some more about yourself, you become a senior and then you become a graduate and you keep studying yourself. and taking care of this beautiful place, and you become a therapist and you teach others, drug addicts or people who have lost their happiness, or people who are physically not anymore so healthy because they forgot how to take care of themselves, or they want to just work here and be in a community, a Buddha field, and join the meditations, do dynamic, do the Aum meditation, go to parties, go to the sauna, biking, going to the beach. So we have a lifestyle that Osho had in Pune 1. People were also living in a commune. So this is the base of our human university, is the commune. And then on weekends or for a week or for months, we open that to people for studying themselves with encounter, primal, meditation, social meditation, Osho meditations, martial arts, healing the body, healing the mind, festivals, parties, and work. Because without work, nothing moves. So it's the ground for this place to move on.
And Tenju, yeah?
The Tenju, that is, yes, Beresh saw that he wanted to have a possibility for the teenagers, when they are not going to school, that they can come and study to become more connected, more happy, more learning the thing that they don't want to learn from their parents. So they come and learn it with Chandrika. Because Chandrika is acting like a mother during that time, but she's not their mother. So they can take on many more things. And she has been leading the Tenju program for, I think, 25 years, or maybe 30, I'm not so sure, but for a long time. So she has a lot of experience. So what is funny also with us is that we have people who have been in the program with me, and in between they may get children. So now they send their children to the teenager program. And then those children became parents, and now they send the grandchildren of the one who were with me. So we have generation of people who come already here, because we are open since 42 years in Egmond aan Zee, and we are actually 45 years open as a center for Osho. So we're good at what we do, and we love to do what we are doing. Because
yes, we know that. I always felt from you people of human university a sense of integrity. It's very clear for me. So you make whole persons, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. This integrity I could feel always with everyone from human university I met, all my friends there, and it's beautiful. Tell us about Osho-do, martial arts. How did it come there?
Well, I mean, just to go back to just what you said, yeah, Viresh created this school for masters so that people become their own master. And that's why we have all of it. And the integrity of Viresh, yeah, he has been bringing that inside of us and making us more and more real. So that's why we have to relate to integrity. Osho-do came about because one day there was a girl who was living with us in the staff. She went to Amsterdam, she was Dutch, and then she got molested by some people on the street. At the same time, the teenagers from the area where we live in this village started to break windows all over the village and also to us. So Viresh said, it's time to do something. We need to learn to stand on feet and do martial arts ourselves, so that we are not going to be attacked in the streets in Amsterdam, so that our women are not going to be molested ever when they go to Amsterdam, and so that nobody is going to break our windows anymore, because we will catch them and tell them to stop to do that. So I went with Viresh to Amsterdam and went to a school of Hapkido, and there was a teacher there, and we did the class, and Viresh said, I want you to come and teach my staff. And he came, and we did martial art twice a day, every day. twice a day for 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, every day. And then this teacher had a master from Korea, because Aikido master was a Korean master. He was a 9th Dan, and he had been training the Vietnam forces. So we did martial arts with him, and he came to live here, and he started to do the martial arts for people who wanted to study full time. And so this is what we did, but we stopped doing it twice a day for 1 hour, because this was, we had no time to do anything anymore. But by then, some people became black belts, like Resh. I stayed with my blue belt because it was quite intense physically. And Viresh called it Osho Do, because it was the way of Osho. Do is the way, so Hapkido, Judo, Do is the way, and Osho is the way of Osho.
Beautiful.
Osho Do.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Also, Prashantam, you got divine healing also into the Human University, yeah?
Yes, yes. Yeah, he came for a few years to teach it, and he was a beautiful person, and he really enjoyed being with Viresh. And so Viresh said, hey, do your training here. So that's what happened. We did divine healings, and some of us learned from him and keep doing it. So we still do divine healing.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So beautiful, divine healing. After all these years of Osho, Viresh, and the Human University, what was changed on the way you look at the world?
Well, I
That's a good
can
thing.
say that personally, I was, as a teenager, thinking the world is fucked up, families are fucked up, society is fucked up, the students, the university is boring, and what is life about? A lot of money, because I come from south of France, where there is a lot of money in Saint-Tropez, really a lot. And I saw all those rich people, and I thought, this is not the way to go. And then I saw very poor people and drug addicts, and I thought, this is also not the way to go. And then I saw normal people, and I thought, this is also not the way to go. So I thought the whole world is fucked up, and I'm the poor victim. What changed is that I realized seeing the world the way I see it because of not knowing who I am. So I have understood that I have to learn who I am. And this is for me meditation, who am I? And I need also to be able to be excited to be alive. And what is my mission? What do I want to do with my life force? It's and this is for me, I found the meaning in the Human University. So by changing myself, I feel like I support the world to change for a better world. And this is also the motto that Viresh had, working with people for a better world. So my mission is to make the world a better world by making myself a better person, and anybody else around me that I can do it with is better. It's as my life, my world has changed. And this is really, it has been Viresh's, from the moment I met him to the last second of his last breath, I can say that it has always been about making the world a better world. And he has always done it in such a non-selfish way, and in such a humble way, and with, at the same time, with so much totality, power, intensity. Like, 100% is not enough. Here, it has to be more than 100%. So I've learned what I can learn, what I was able to take from Viresh, and so my view in the world has changed and keeps changing. So I want to make the world a better world and a happier world. And together it's better. So that's why I love
We
to
had the power.
whereas together we're stronger.
Great, great. So we like to end our interviews asking the guests to say one word for Osho.
One word for Osho. I would say the word friendship. Because for me, Osho was, I can explain the word? Or
Yes, sure, please.
because for me, the word is like, I remember when Osho left his body, Hirsch was, first he didn't believe it happened. And then he asked Ganda to call and to find out if it was really true. And then he was crying. And then he called everybody and we all had to say what we had to say about Osho and what we love from Osho. And then for me, it was like, yeah, friendship. Because of Osho, I feel that this friendship movement has grown over the world. And because of Osho, I could meet Viresh. And because of meeting Viresh, I could meet all the people I'm meeting here. And thousands of people have been here and they have gone back to live to Brazil, Carunia, and to all over the world. And this is the power of friendship. So for me, this has been my biggest gift from Osho, has been this friendship that he has naturally set up by doing what he has done. Like I feel the friendship towards you now, with you now in Brazil, and with you, Divya, and this is so precious. So much more precious. So yeah, it is.
So I've got recently some discourse from Osho by his brother, Shailendra, and Osho, in the very end of his work, he declares he's not a master anymore, he's just a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that in Urdu, an old language, this is Mary Handam, my heart, Mary Dost, my friend. So beautiful, I'm gonna send it to you.
Yes, please. Please.
There is a song made out of it.
Wow.
I send you both, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Premdip, thank you so much. I'm very touched by all you said and very nice being with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
E aí, o que vai dizer dessa entrevista linda? Uau! A profundidade desse amor, a profundidade de cada coisa que ela fala ali é única, típica de Viresh. Raio de força.
Viresh fez aniversário há poucos dias. Foi quinta-feira,
Ontem é
se não me
aniversário
engano.
do...
Depois ontem do Osho, né?
É.
Daqui a 2 dias é meu aniversário de Sânias.
É.
E a lembrança do aniversário também do meu querido Sati Bode.
Sati.
Prashant está aqui com a gente. Um beijo para...
Beijo.
Querida, nós queremos chamar mais grupos de Osho para fazer parte da rede do HCO. Então, Caminho das Nuvens Brancas. Tem outros grupos de Osho que quiserem também passar essa live junto com a gente, é só fazer contato. Semana que vem a gente tem as 2 últimas. Vamos fazer um episódio especial, aliás, É uma
Nossa,
entrevista, a primeira entrevista presencial da história do HCO. Ela ficou uma entrevista de 1h30. A gente vai fazer em duas partes. Uma vai ser mostrada na próxima terça-feira, dia 19, mesmo horário de sempre, 20h30. E na quarta-feira seguinte, uma edição extra do HCO para encerrar a temporada, na quarta-feira também às 20h30.
só porque a gente não quer ir embora, então a gente já vai fazer 2 dias seguidos, entendeu?
E
Na verdade,
essa,
a entrevista pede, cada detalhe dessa entrevista é rico, rico, rico. A gente, e aí essa continuidade em 2 dias também faz todo sentido para que vocês não fiquem esperando uma semana para a próxima edição. Assim que a gente faça uma coisa mais um dia após o outro, tá? É imperdível, imperdível.
gente, a gente vai
Sabe aquele
divulgar.
grupo bom que a gente fala, vai, faz aquele grupo, vai te transformar? A gente faz isso com as entrevistas, imperdível, gente.
Essa
Não
próxima
perca, não
é um
perca.
capricho e, né? Durante a semana a gente vai divulgar. Eu não sei se a gente pode dar alguma dica agora.
Pois é, eu não baixei a foto. Fiquei com medo de mexer na internet, o vídeo estava
Tá
começando
bom, gente.
assim.
A gente já
Aí
vai contar a
não
entrevista.
contou. A gente
O
pode
que,
contar, sim, na
é,
verdade, que vale
é.
muito a pena.
Tem
A
mais
gente
alguém ainda nos assistindo? Ok, quem está aqui?
tem
Bravos guerreiros, guerreiras que estão aqui conosco ainda. Então, a Prashanto tá, a Kilma tá, a Guian tá, a Sávia tá. Deixa eu ver
adiantar,
quem mais.
adiantar.
Eu não sei quem está ainda, né? Que estava
Então,
bastante
gente,
gente
o
aqui no
nosso
início. Até...
próximo vídeo vai ser com o Soará e a gente fez uma entrevista presencial com ele e era essa palhinha que a gente ia mostrar, mas a gente vai lançar a divulgação agora no decorrer da semana, tá bom?
Isso.
E daqui a
Durante a
2 dias
semana,
esse vídeo vai estar no YouTube também, se você quiser rever ou indicar, tá bom?
para a gente mandar para a Premdip e para a University também. Eles estavam bem curiosos quando é que ia sair. Gente,
É,
semana que vem tem mais essa linda entrevista com o Suará, então, em duas partes, dia 19 às 20h30, a primeira, e quarta-feira, dia 13 às 20h30 também, ambas no Facebook, Divia 10.
dia 10.
Aguarde o material de divulgação essa semana aí.
Sim,
Acho que quinta-feira a gente
já
começa
começa a divulgação.
com a
E
divulgação.
lembrando que dia 5 de janeiro começa mais um treinamento de meditações ativas Osho. Um treinamento incrível, com 30 dias de dinâmica, potente, poderoso, para transformar a vida mesmo. Tá? São 14 meditações ativas, online, pelo Zoom. Eu e Sananda, queridos. Tá bom?
Fernanda estava nos assistindo aqui.
Tava, querido Sá. Beijo.
Boa noite.
Sanguinha, beijo. Beijo todo mundo. Até semana que vem.
Tchau, Didi.
Tchau, Bi.